I started smoking when I was about 13 years old. I was a construction worker, and all of the other guys at the site smoked. So I started too.
I started smoking when I was pregnant with my fourth baby. I'm not sure why I started, really. I think that I may have been depressed about having another baby when we are so poor, and smoking seemed to help take away my depression.
I was 18 when I started. Our family had just been relocated to another part of Phnom Penh, and all the guys in my neighborhood were smoking. I wanted to fit in.
I started smoking when I was 40. I was a single mother with 5 children, and every day I had so many worries about how to survive with all my children. Smoking seemed to relieve some of the stress in my life.
I just started recently. My job here in the market is so boring. Smoking helps to pass the time.
Hi, my name is James Zasselford and I'm with ADRA Canada. And today I'm in the Kingdom of Cambodia. For several years now, ADRA Cambodia, with the support of Canada, has been working in this country to make fundamental changes with regards to the practice of smoking, helping to get legislation passed to protect people and educating them about the health hazards of this practice.
After extensive research, the World Health Organization has reported some amazing and shocking statistics on this issue. They estimate that worldwide, about 6 million people die prematurely every year as a result of using tobacco products. An additional 600,000 die each year because of exposure to secondhand smoke. This makes tobacco the leading cause of preventable deaths around the world, accounting for 63% of all deaths from non-communicable diseases. Without intervention, these statistics are expected to grow over the coming years, especially in developing nations where anti-tobacco legislation is weak. As it stands right now, 70% of all tobacco-related deaths happen in developing countries, where the advertising and promotion of tobacco products have enjoyed complete freedom, where public awareness of the health risks is minimal, and where low or non-existent taxes on tobacco products make them accessible to young people and even the very poor. In Cambodia today, it is still possible to purchase a pack of cigarettes for as little as 25 cents. When ADRA first started working in Cambodia in 1993, the country was still in shock from a traumatic and devastating civil war that had taken the lives of an estimated 2 million innocent civilians. Even as the Khmer Rouge continued to control many parts of the country, ADRA began its work, advocating for and uplifting the poor in many regions. In those early years, ADRA Cambodia focused on traditional projects of community development, such as helping villages develop sources of clean water, building latrines for better sanitation, and providing programs that brought health education, adult skills training, income generation, small loans, literacy, and agricultural instruction. These programs brought much-needed relief to a nation that had lost so much of its infrastructure, leadership, and collective knowledge. And while ADRA Cambodia is still bringing these types of solutions to remote villages throughout the country, it has also added one more program to its portfolio, one that is having a major impact at the national level on the health and well-being of all Cambodians.
ADRA Cambodia started getting interested in tobacco control back in the mid-90s, about 95, 96. Well, ADRA was working with the Ministry of Health at that time and would very often go to meetings within the Ministry of Health itself and find out that many of both the Cambodian ministers as well as the other foreign advisors were smoking and they could see very well the connection that this is a deep-rooted problem within Cambodia. And after that point in time, gradually developed strategies and plans to start the education and awareness in Cambodia.
One of the government officials that ADRA began to work closely with was Mr. Seng Somoni from the Ministry of Cults and Religions. As we caught up with him outside his office, he told us how he became involved with ADRA.
I have been working with ADRA on tobacco control since 1997. I used to be a 3-pack-a-day smoker myself, but after I started working with ADRA and went through their anti-tobacco training and reviewed all the material that they had about health risks of using tobacco, I decided to quit and have not smoked since that time. As I began to realize how serious this issue is and how it is a problem that is affecting everyone in Cambodia, I have been dedicated to the task of raising awareness about the health risks of tobacco.
As ADRA Cambodia took up its work informing the public about the dangers of tobacco use, the task seemed overwhelming. With very small budgets to work with, they were up against a multinational tobacco industry that was spending millions of dollars in Cambodia advertising their products. Billboards, magazine, newspaper, radio and TV advertising, sidewalk and point-of-sale advertising all target non-smokers, seducing young people to start and those who may have quit to start again.
In Cambodia, as in many other countries, certainly advertising, originally via television, radio, and particularly the one that we've noticed the most is a lot of large billboards, posters as well. The tobacco industries would hire young people, particularly young ladies, to go around to hand out cigarettes for free, to promote their brands as well at large events. They would sponsor those events. They would have, and of course, have their pictures and their logos, and have the persons up in front in concerts and other events as well, promoting their products and saying that this is something that is what cool people do.
The tobacco industry was very successful. It is estimated that in the mid-90s, up to 75% of all men in Cambodia were smokers, one of the highest rates in the world. Dismayed by the high prevalence of tobacco usage by an unwitting, largely illiterate population, ADRA Cambodia decided they must try and do something.
But we saw that tobacco or health and the fact that so many persons were using tobacco with no knowledge of its dangers. We saw that there were no other government or non-government agencies that were working to educate persons in tobacco. We saw that it was something that ADRA Cambodia, along with our ADRA network partners, could make a difference and make a great impact. Later on, World Health Organization and other partners soon caught on the bandwagon and said this is something globally that needs to be done, and ADRA Cambodia was already there, already working in it, and has been able to continue our program now for about 14 years.
As ADRA Cambodia took up the fight against the Goliath tobacco industry, it began to receive the support and partnership of government agencies, media, educators, and influential leaders.
For example, in this Buddhist pagoda, which is a thought center for the country, young monks come to train from all over the country. And ADRA has helped the religious leaders to declare this pagoda a smoke-free zone. So this message of smoke-free is being disseminated throughout the country because of the work being done here.
As I spoke to some of the monks at the pagoda, they told me how much they appreciated the work that ADRA was doing in working with monks at many of the pagodas around Phnom Penh. One young man told me that he used to be very addicted to cigarettes and had tried to quit many times, but found it very difficult. Then as he came to study at this pagoda, which with the help of ADRA had been declared a smoke-free zone, it was much easier. The ADRA materials, he said, not only educated us all of the health risks of smoking, but also showed us how to quit. Having all of this information about the diseases caused by tobacco having a plan of how to quit, and being in an environment where no one else is smoking gave me the motivation, confidence, and encouragement to quit. The monks went on to tell me that even though healthful living is a big part of the Buddhist religion, many monks in Cambodia still smoke, simply because they are not aware of the health risks associated with tobacco. Since ADRA began their awareness campaign and education programs at pagodas, many monks have not only given up the habit themselves, but influenced others to quit as well.
Cambodia is primarily a Buddhist country, and people look to the monks as role models. When people would see monks smoking, they accepted the practice as normal, everyday life. Since we started doing awareness programs in the pagodas in 1997, I have noticed a lot of changes. It used to be that people would give cigarettes to the monks along with the regular gifts of food. With the education program that ADRA has implemented along with a countrywide poster campaign, they no longer do that. Another thing that has been a big help is to get the support of the Supreme Monk. With his endorsements, monks throughout Cambodia have worked right along with us in promoting anti-tobacco education to the monks in training throughout Phnom Penh. Then, as they go home to their villages, they take this important message back to the people that they meet every day. Now they have become role models for the benefits of being smoke-free. People in Cambodia used to think that it was only the foreigners who would come and scare them with stories about the dangers of smoking, and most never gave the warnings that much thought. Now, when they hear from the monks, for whom they have a lot of respect, about the health risks associated with smoking, they are listening. People are quitting, and young people are choosing not to start. There are about 50,000 monks in the country of Cambodia. Our goal is, first of all, to encourage all of them to be smoke-free, and then with their influence, they can have a powerful impact on the whole population. We are working hard to encourage all of the pagodas in Cambodia to become smoke-free zones. In addition, we have declared all of the 24 offices of the Ministry of Cults and Religion to be smoke-free workplace zones. The billboards and other signage that ADRA has helped us with have been a big help towards that.
A second group of individuals that have a very powerful impact on the youth of any nation is teachers. As an integral component of their overall strategy to take a message to a nation, ADRA Cambodia also began working with the educators of Phnom Penh. Just like with the pagodas, ADRA encouraged many schools to declare themselves smoke-free zones. With the help and financial partnership of the Canadian government and ADRA Canada, an anti-tobacco curriculum has been developed, materials produced, and teachers trained in the presentation of this important message to their students. Now young people in Cambodia are having a close-up encounter with the real effect that smoking has on the lungs and the many other diseases that can result. Anti-tobacco poster design competitions get young people thinking seriously about the issue.
In preparing for this poster contest, I did a lot of research about the awful effects of tobacco smoke on people, not only for the smoker, but for everyone else around them. I have definitely decided never to start smoking myself, and I would advise everyone else against smoking. It is just horrible what it does to you. My dad is a smoker. I want him to quit, and so does my mother. In the poster that I made for the contest, I gave the message that if you must smoke, please go find some place far away from other people so we don't have to breathe your smoke.
In addition to working with government ministries, schools, and pagodas, ADRA has taken its education program to the country of Cambodia at large, through television, radio, and other media. They have also integrated the message against tobacco into all the health and adult education programs that they conduct throughout the country.
I used to smoke, but then I started going to the Reflect group that ADRA started in our village. We not only learned how to read, how to produce better crops and gardens, how to make more income on our farms, but in our group, we also discussed the health dangers of smoking. I had heard that smoking might be bad for your health, but as the ADRA group facilitator shared with us all of the facts, I decided to quit. It was not easy, especially as I went about my work around our farm. I really missed my friend. But using the advice that ADRA shared with us on the ways that makes it easier to stop, I was successful. Today I feel much stronger and my head is much clearer. I am very thankful that ADRA has come to work in our village.
With the message out about the dangers of smoking, the next step in bringing down the Goliath tobacco industry was to encourage the government to enact legislation regarding the advertising, packaging, distribution and sale of tobacco products. I spoke with Dr. Ray Rani in her office at the National Centre for Health Promotion.
ADRA Cambodia has been a wonderful help in our effort to promote the reduction of tobacco consumption in Cambodia. They have partnered with us to educate the people of Cambodia against the health dangers of smoking. They have promoted the idea of getting workplaces and schools declared smoke-free. Most recently, they have worked with us to make it a law that tobacco companies must issue health warnings on their packaging. Soon, they will no longer be able to advertise their product in Cambodia. We are imposing a ban on all forms of tobacco advertising. Right now, if you were to pick up a teen magazine, you would see tobacco advertising. But in August of 2011, all forms of print and mass media advertising of tobacco in Cambodia will stop. Our next step is to make the tobacco companies provide pictorial warnings so that even people who are illiterate will get the message that tobacco is dangerous to your health. Eventually, we would also like to see restrictions on where tobacco can be sold and impose age limits.
The work that ADRA Cambodia has done in educating the nation has had an amazing impact. Once people began to discover the truth about the health hazards of tobacco, they began to quit. National surveys have shown a steady reduction in tobacco use over the years. The most recent survey, conducted in May of 2011, showed that among men, usage has dropped to 42%. While this is still high, compared to the Canadian usage rate of 17%, it represents a remarkable reduction from the statistic of 70% just 15 years ago.
We are finding that many people in the country are quitting. This not only means better health for the people who stop, but it also means that there is more money for other things that the family needs. This program is reducing poverty in Cambodia. I think that it would be wonderful if the whole country could become smoke-free. I am very thankful to the Canadian people who have put together the funding to support this program in Cambodia.
For many years now, ADRA Canada has appreciated the opportunity to be a financial partner in this anti-tobacco program in Cambodia. Thanks to the gifts of our regular donors, combined with the support of the Canadian government, we have been able to make a positive difference in the lives of so many people.
There is no question that this program has had a very positive impact on Cambodia. As people stop smoking, not only do they experience better personal health, but are able to contribute to a healthier environment for their families and their communities. Getting people to quit is in the interest of the public health and safety of all Cambodians. I would like to thank the people of Canada for supporting us in this program and make a personal appeal that you continue to partner with us in this important effort to help Cambodians quit smoking. Your support is valuable to the Cambodian people and much appreciated.
Today we have seen the graduation of an enthusiastic group of bright young people from a seminar on the dangers of tobacco smoking. These people are going out to their communities here in the Greater Phnom Penh district to spread that message. We've also heard from some very eminent leaders in government of their enthusiasm for this very successful project. And they have appealed to us personally to continue this program. Won't you help ADRA Canada to make this partnership in Cambodia a continuing success, to improve the lives of all the many people in this country?